Texting. Hello, BBD. How are you?
How you doing
there? Hey, how are you? Happy post New Year. We are live in the Mid-Sac on a balmy.
Oh man, this weather's out of control.
It's a Wednesday. Welcome to the Mid-Sac. That is the redoubtable one. Happy New Year, brother. Good to see you.
Happy New Year,
the redoubtable one, Tom Izzo, the highly questionable, and Arjun Miliaccio. Welcome to IDD. That's I Don't Disagree. Those of you in the know, you just know us as IDDST, baby, because that's how we roll.
Any New Year's resolutions or goals before we get started?
You know, it's funny you brought that up, because I'm glad you actually did that. I didn't have a chance to think about it, but I thought about it earlier today, but I had no idea what to do. New Year's resolution. I'm turning 50.
That man looked good for 50.
I do have a goal. I want to get back into real shape this year. I've been kind of teetering up and in and out, half in, half out. My goal is I want to get back into real shape this year. And now that I think I can run, like really run, I think I'm going to be able to do this. So, but I'm going to make a commitment to getting back into shape and feeling better. And I mean,
you think you're at a point where like we could play basketball together?
I am.
Yeah?
Yeah, which I'd love to do.
That'd be fun, dude.
It'd be fun. I want to do that again. I miss playing basketball. And I
need to move my body.
I haven't been able to play for 3 years. That's too long. So anyway, segment one. Hey.
Okay, so you're going to give your resolution. I'm just a piece of shit over here?
No.
Jeez.
This is what happens.
Happy freaking
what happens when you talk to Yoda before you go
That's
on
true.
the air.
You get a little stunad.
Little
stunad.
Yeah, Yoda, it's Joe Boo's fault. Blame him, the silent one back there.
It's got nothing to do with him.
I'm just telling you. He's not to be trusted.
All right, so
anyway, yes. What do you got? Obviously you have something in mind.
I do.
What do you got?
And now I didn't plan on asking this, but as you were opening the show, you know how I love to interrupt your open.
You're good at that.
I mean, I do that.
Exceptional. If that was a contest,
pretty much every episode. But on Monday, we had a family meeting, and we had to go around and we had to give goals.
I actually heard about this at the bus stop.
Oh, really?
I did. But I don't know what yours was.
It was good.
Yeah.
And of course, except for what?
Except for the kids saying how your goal is not to send them to school anymore, whatever the hell that thing was, but they didn't want to go to school anymore.
Oh, well, John was like, I want you guys to stop sending us to school. Yeah. I was like, shut it.
Yeah. And Casey was laughing. I said, "Hey, here's the thing, pal. That one's highly unlikely. However, if you pull it off, you know what is likely? You working off the back of a truck the rest of your life."
That's true.
So if that's your goal,
physical labor, which is fine,
it's fine. That's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that.
I know my son's work ethic. It's similar to mine.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to do hard labor.
No, he does not.
He's like me.
No. Anyway.
But yeah, of course, I had the weight goals because I always do that. I've been on a yo-yo my whole life, but. My daughter Penny, she goes, I want you to stop talking bad about yourself.
Huh.
So I have to speak positive. Instead of doing a negative goal, I said, okay, I'll speak positively about myself. So,
we could have so much fun with this.
So I think every time we come on the show, I should tell myself, because I'm staring at myself on the screen.
And me.
And yes.
And Joe Boo.
That's right.
Bill.
But, so when we come on, I'll say, again,
Latrell on the corner.
Latrell. I said this last episode, but I think I look pretty damn good with this, Pepe Le Pew, black and white, Italian cookie looking beard.
I didn't disagree.
I know. You should have agreed, though. For the sake of my confidence and ego.
I think the fact that I didn't disagree should go there. In fact, I didn't even follow it up with a but. So I was just...
Okay, that's good. No but after the I don't disagree?
There was no I might add. It was like, no, I don't disagree with that.
So you left it.
I left it.
Okay.
I just left it.
All right, well, thanks.
So I believe you. I still agree.
And 30 minutes of exercise every day since then. I've walked for 30 minutes a day. So I'm holding true to that.
Hey, if we're going to have 68-degree weather here on January 4th.
No excuse.
There's no excuse. Of course, the rain, man. I got to leave the rain
The
out.
rain was almost my excuse today.
Yeah.
But then I took my daughter to gymnastics, and I asked her, I was like, hey, is it cool for the first 30 minutes I don't watch you? I walk around the building?
Well, that's good.
So I got my
that's good. There you go. You found a way. Resourceful. Good.
Where there's a will.
There is a way. There's a way. Speaking of will and a way, the first topic that I want to try and keep these 30 minutes or under because we have a lot to unpack tonight, and I think a lot to unpack. And this first one, I think, look at the whole nation's been all over this one since Monday night. You know what happened, because if you didn't see it, you heard about it, and then you watched it. Okay, the replay of it, and never. My dad got drafted by the Vikings. His best friend played for the Patriots. Darryl Stingley was the one. This trumped that.
What about Bird? Wasn't there
Bird? He got a concussion. He smacked his head off.
I thought he was paralyzed.
Nice.
Eric
smack.
Bird?
Oh, you mean
was it Eric Bird?
What's his name? It's a bird, I believe.
It's a Bird, right? Maybe
was
it's
his
not
name?
Eric. Wasn't he paralyzed? That was
Bird,
the big
Dennis Bird.
Dennis Bird.
Dennis Bird.
I always heard his name as a kid. I
That
never
was Jet.
saw that.
The Jet.
He was a
that's
Jet.
Another one, yeah.
But wasn't he paralyzed from the hit on the field?
Yeah, and there was Norman Levy at the Bruins. Same thing happened to him. These weird. But this one, they were
Damar
breathing.
Hamlin.
Yeah,
right?
Damar. This dude was his heart stopped. Cardiac arrest.
Craziness.
Okay, and the reaction of the players alone, and these guys are used to seeing hits. These guys are used to seeing guys get carried off the field. They never saw this, and neither had I or anybody else watching. So that was a moment that you didn't need words. It was on the face of these guys, and I was glad they didn't even think about continuing. These two coaches, by the way, nailed it. Kudos to the two coaches, because they knew, they could see it in their players' eyes. They didn't have to ask them; they knew. And I'll tell you what, I gained a new respect for. I'll tell you what, the Cincinnati Bengal coach is Taylor. Came across the field. He was the one who came across first and looked at this guy and said, "Look, we're not going to do this."
Well,
this
so the thing
and
is,
it was great that he did that.
What's the Bills coach's name again?
McDermott.
Yeah,
and he was thinking it.
But no, I think McDermott was just as impacted as all those players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he could think straight, because he had the same eyes as
did.
all the other
Yes,
guys.
he did, and that's
so
why
he really needed that Cincinnati
I'm telling
coach
you, what that
to
coach,
engage.
I think it's underrated what that coach did, because it showed. I'll tell you, that was the human. That dude, he hit it out of the park. He knew, he felt it on his team. His team was devastated by this, and he's looking over there, and he's like, you know what, we can't do it. He knew. And I love that he went over there.
I wonder who really said it first. He
went over there. I just know he walked over there. So.
Yeah, he definitely walked over there. But I remember McDermott looking back at the team, almost saying, "I don't think we can do it."
Yeah.
Like that's what it sounded like, or looked like he said.
Yeah, and I think he was like, "Look, whatever you want to do, we'll do." But I don't think these guys are up for it.
I don't think he was either.
No, I don't think anybody was.
You could see it in his eyes.
Yeah,
like that was just so shocking.
I don't think anybody was. My heart. I'll get news to you. My heart damn near stopped when I saw him drop. And
mine didn't. I thought it was completely. I thought he had a concussion.
You don't get up like that and just drop like a stone.
You
you kind of stumble at this. He went down. He was out. And tell you what, the other thing is those EMT people that got to the field, you got to understand something about if you every minute your brain goes to that oxygen, your chances of a fatality increase by 10% every minute. So for what those people did on that field in that moment, talk about rising to the occasion and under pressure and clutch, you saw it right there live. I
hope they saved him to a point
I
where
think they saved his life. Well, they saved his life.
I know. I just hope that when he comes out of this,
well, if he comes out of it, let's hope. We got good news
we're
tonight.
Going to speak as if he's coming out of it until he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I just hope when he comes out of it, he can still enjoy his life.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I want him to be healthy and have.
Because they were doing CPR for what, 4 minutes?
9
minutes.
They used the defibrillator to get his heart started first, but they kept administering oxygen until they got him to the point where they could move it. But it was 9 minutes.
God, that's
it was 9, and for them to I'll tell you right now, talk about under pressure. The whole world was watching this. And for them to do what they saved his life.
But thanks to the Bills team,
them too.
The whole world did not actually.
No, I love what they
how
did.
They got around.
Yeah,
him.
that was cool. And
I'm sure Also, kudos to the camera people, because I'm sure they had cameras that could have.
Oh, they could have.
They have. But
why
would you ever think about doing that?
I don't know. I don't think anybody knew in that moment what had happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah, when he said there was CPR, I'm like, is the guy dead? Like, what is going on?
When that first dude turned around and he was bawling, I thought he was dead. I'm like, oh my God, no. Because I remember there was an announcer, I forget who it was about 20 years ago, and they started changing the rules shortly after this man said it, because on national he goes, at some point the way this is going, one day we're going to see the
Someone
unthinkable
die.
on a field. And he said it. And
I remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but he was right about that. And then they started changing the rules, changing the helmets.
That was
doing
in the
all these
2000s.
things. It was in the 2000s. It was like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And he said if the way this was going, and there was another big hit, another concussion, and that's when all this stuff kind of got. And it should have happened because these poor guys, they sacrifice everything. So
Exactly. And anybody says,
Yeah.
this is why I hate when people look at athletes and say, like, you play a game for a living. Like, be grateful. I'm like, the work.
That is the work it
sacrifice
takes.
to your body, the sacrifice
beating.
to every part of your life so that you can pour it all into that.
Yeah.
To me, I love all these games. When I played them as a kid,
Sure.
I love them. I never played professional organized football. I only played football in the backyard. But I would never have the commitment or the drive or the work ethic to get to the point where these people get.
Oh.
And then while they're playing the game, it's a risk to their health.
You have to love it. You truly have to love it.
Or you have to be in a position where you need to play it.
Well, that's the other thing. A lot of these guys, this was their only way out of where they were. So that was the other thing.
I don't know if that's his background, though.
No, well, his dad went to jail for dealing drugs. And because, it sucks
Really?
that it takes a tragedy to start looking into some of these people because there's a lot of great stories. This kid, by the way, is a 6th-round draft pick. And in his second year, he was starting.
But they still
pretty
talk about his
impressive.
dad like he's got a good relationship with him.
He does. His dad was just trying to make money for the family, but he got into
Gotcha.
drug dealing because and that's what happened. He was trying to do the right thing, but he went about it the wrong way.
Everything
But,
they show about this Damar guy is like,
he's amazing.
he seems like a freaking saint.
He's an amazing human being,
Yeah.
and he gives back so much to his community. Which, by the way, did you see that thing with the
that's pretty
$6.5 million now, or
6.6.
6 now? Yeah, and you know what? This is the other good thing that came out of this. Is that
Good stuff
this is
like
when
this always happens.
this is when you but this is when you this is what gives me hope that this country still has a pulse
Yeah.
and still understands what's important when it comes down to it. Of course, it takes a freaking tragedy. Okay, again, they're dying, but the outpouring and everything and all that and look at this from the celebrities down to the community in Buffalo. God bless them, what they're doing for his family and everything. It's awesome to see. I'm not a religious person, but I've been praying for this guy since Monday night. I know I'm not the only one. But as I've been hearing more and more over the past 48 hours, and I see their point, and these are people talking about, and I'm going to let Tom have the floor on this, because we had a discussion about this a while back about guaranteed contracts and the need for it in the NFL. And I was on the fence about it because I was trying to see both sides of it. He was adamant to do this for the players. Obviously, Monday night did not hurt his argument. If anything,
Oh my God! It was
sealed
it closed the case forever.
It sealed the deal. And since then, the conversation has started to come out. Started to hear people say it, and I didn't need to. Daryl Stingley, my father talked me out of football because of Daryl Stingley.
See, I don't know who Daryl Stingley is.
He was a Patriot who got hit by Jack Tatum, and he was paralyzed from the neck down. It was on the field, bang, bang, and he was done. And that hit, if you YouTube Daryl Stingley, you see the hit, you will be in shock looking at it.
Yeah.
And they didn't change the rules after that hit.
Yeah.
And that was in 1970, I think, 2. They stated that hit should have started. That hit should have started all this.
Yeah.
By the way, and it did. So that's a bad sign right there. But now we're in this thing.
Yeah.
But the point is, to you, this was your take, and I want you to tell them, I want you to have the floor. You let it all out and let it hang out now.
So this is part of the reason why in every argument, when it comes from league and owners to players, and in every sport, I will take the side of the players.
Sure.
Because they are the ones out there putting the shit on the line.
They're the draw.
Now
they're the entertainment.
Exactly. They're the draw. They're the risk taker. They're everything.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? And
they're a very short shelf life.
And I'm not saying that owners don't play a big role. And without the owners, the players couldn't exist.
Sure.
Without the players,
they need each other. They need each other.
And that means you need to share the wealth.
Yes, you do.
With these people.
You do.
You need to make sure they are taken care of. Because you look at all the other sports. When people sign contracts, that's the contract.
They're all
It doesn't matter if you're in baseball and, you're a first-year player, you sign a $10 million contract. The next day, you blow out your knee and never play again.
You get $10 million.
You get $10 million. Yep. If the next year, you're a big hitter, you hit 50 home runs, you sign to a $100 million contract, and you're, like, I can't remember the first baseman in Baltimore, Chris something. He struck out so many friggin' times after signing a big contract, couldn't hit for shit. He gets all of it. They can't cut him. They can't tell him, look, you're not performing to your numbers. He gets all the money. In football, you can friggin' die on the field.
Yeah.
You can never walk again on the field. You can be perfectly healthy through your entire career and then have trouble walking when you're 50.
Sure.
Yeah. All this stuff, like, just first of all, guarantee contracts and lifetime health care. And people will be like, whoa, what the hell are you talking about? Do you know how much a football franchise is worth?
Mm-hmm. Billions.
How much is the Bills worth?
The richest one is the Cowboys. They're worth $7.5 billion.
And what, the cheapest one's probably like $800 million, right?
Yeah.
There can't be too many under that.
Yeah, there aren't many under that. No, listen.
There is the money is there. Now, yes, the owners will not make as much money if they do that. That's okay. That's called sharing the wealth and taking care of your own. Like, what the hell? It doesn't make any sense that the riskiest sport has the least protection.
They play once a week.
Right.
That tells you all you need to know. Okay?
It's too physical for them to play beyond that. It's too physical to
play. Even hockey, they play 3 times a week. Because the average hockey player is nowhere near the size.
Oh, I actually didn't realize that. Only 3 times?
3. Well, most of the time it's 3. Sometimes 4. But most of the time it is 3.
That's a crazy sport, too.
It's a crazy sport. But they're just
That's another sport. I'd be like,
they're just not nearly.
You want me to skate around with giants on
ice?
On ice?
These blades, by the way,
right.
You can slit your friggin'
You got sticks. You got a puck flying at you.
Yeah,
that's another sport where it's like, I'm not doing this unless you're paying me what you say you're paying me.
Yeah, and I think in hockey they have guaranteed contracts.
They do,
and they should. My thing was always. To me, it was all about, all right, if you want to sit there and say, well, we can't guarantee all of it, guarantee 75% of it. At least. Because they don't even guarantee that much.
So I feel you on that.
Yeah,
if this was a normal company, this isn't. This is one of the most powerful organizations in the world.
But the other thing is, this is the exception to the rule, by the way. This is the one's type of, sports in general. Because to his point about what this does to them later in life, if they don't get...
Exactly.
Even
if they don't lose
look at all the ex-football players who committed suicide because of brain trauma.
Exactly.
Because of all the hits. And the NFL shelled out an $800 million package. That doesn't solve the problem.
Exactly.
And I got usually they're going to have to do it again. Because the reality is, after this stuff, the problem is that everybody sees this stuff now. And there's going to be backlash on it. And I can say the owners are going to lose this argument 100. Because I'll tell you right now, the fan bases are going to start siding with the players.
Why haven't they already? Like, even think about...
I have my theory on that.
But
I'm not going to go into it tonight.
But think about yourself, though. Because 3 weeks ago, when we were talking about this, you were saying, no, they shouldn't be guaranteed because... they could get hurt tomorrow.
I'm saying some of it should be guaranteed. So I'm saying more of it than what it is. I don't know
but I'm saying,
if they'll ever fully comply, like it'll be fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
I'm saying get to 75% so I know this guy's going to be okay.
But
or have enough, whatever it is.
I just think it's crazy to think that this powerhouse global corporation can't afford to guarantee it's corporate.
Well, they
greed.
guarantee
it's corporate greed.
They do guarantee a good amount of it, just not enough to me. In my opinion,
not with all players.
No,
and I'm talking about if you sign me to a 5-year deal, RJ. Right, like in the NFL, if I sign a player to a 5-year deal and he doesn't perform well in year 1, there's language in that contract that allows me a lot of times to either say, you're going to restructure and we're going to pay you less, or we're going to cut you and you're not going to make.
The average NFL career of this is 2 years now.
Right.
2. And that's not because they signed 5-year deals. They're on 1-year deals.
Right. So you're just going to chew these people up and spit them out and keep your billion-dollar corporation going. Like, take care of these people. You know what I'm saying?
The one that, to me, is most feasible is the insurance policy.
Yes.
And this is the thing. And this
But
is
that'll cost more than guaranteed contracts.
but the
if you
point
can do
is-
that, you can guarantee
I
contracts.
know, but the point
and
is
you need to do both.
But hold on a second.
You need to do
The
both.
point is where that one to me is more feasible because of what just happened.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. As it currently stands, the players either somehow lost this deal. It went from $22,000 a month down to $4,000.
$4,000.
Now here's the problem.
I heard Dominique Foxworth talking about this with
And
Mina Kimes.
And, well, I've seen a few people talking about it before Dominique. Actually, it was on Facebook. A friend of mine brought it up on like Sunday, actually not Sunday, Monday night as it was going on before Dominique Foxworth even got on the air. Yeah. But the thing is, they lose that battle. Here's the other problem: they have their own independent medical staff, and they can veto. They make the final decision.
Have a back-end committee.
They have the final say on, and regardless of if they get a confirmed diagnosis, they can still reject it. And of the 60% of that they know are confirmed by now, 0 of that 60% have seen a dime.
It's ridiculous.
That's outrageous.
That's what I'm
That
saying.
is
It's corporate
absolutely
greed.
fuck. You got to be kidding me. I didn't need, and most people didn't need to see what happened Monday night to know that's total fucking bullshit. Okay, and if I had known that, and maybe the NFL prayed upon, well, who's really going to look this up? Well, Monday night prompted a lot of people to look it up, including myself. And going, what are they doing with these people, by the way? Because right now, this dude doesn't play on the down. He doesn't see one more cent of his $800,000 salary.
Right.
Are you
That's
kidding
such
me?
bullshit.
So he could be in that hospital for the rest of his
That's
freaking
criminal.
life. There's no guarantees coming out of this hospital the way he went in.
Yeah. So
Okay?
so tell me, if somebody said, "Hey, I'll give you $800,000 to do this for me," but here's the catch: if you do it, you could break your neck, you could never walk again, you could have headaches that you might not come back from. You know, you have to sit in dark rooms and take pills. You'll have lower back pain to the point where it's tough to get off the couch. You know, and like there's an off chance you could die.
Here's the problem with that.
Would you do it?
Here's the problem with that
Just
question.
hang on. Just would you do it?
20-year-old me would.
Okay.
49-year-old me won't.
Right. Okay.
That's different. So but you're trying to tell a kid
exactly
who has a chance to live out his, because by the way, this is the kid's dream.
right.
Yes, they're going to say yes.
And that even makes the point even more.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
you these young people who, if they weren't in the position
They
were in,
don't see
would never do
25
it.
years down
right.
the
They
road.
can't. Who can?
They don't.
Who can? If you had the ability to play in the NFL, you would have done it.
Of course I would.
Right. And that's why it makes it even worse, because
But
these people don't fully understand, and
they're taking advantage of them.
Yes,
Okay, and they've been doing it.
exactly.
I mean, look, this to me, and again, and to me it goes even further back than what I'm about to say. But we were just talking about this off the air. To me, the Darryl Stingley hit in 1972, which at some point he's got to Google it because then he'll really understand it. That hit right there should have changed all this. And if you don't know who Darryl Stingley is, he's a former Patriot who was in the air, defenseless, going for a catch. He was a receiver. And Jack Tatum for the Oakland Raiders hit this dude so hard, he paralyzed him from the neck down instantaneously. On the field. He didn't move
Is
again.
instantaneously a word?
Instantaneously? Whatever.
Instantly?
Even if it's not. My point is, this was the second he got hit like that, it was over.
That's crazy.
And nothing changed.
Did he get a penalty?
Nope.
Probably not, right?
It wasn't. It was a clean hit that back then.
But see, here's
If
one
you
thing.
see that hit, you're going to ask the same question I asked. Why are they still allowing these hits to happen? Because the time I was playing football, and I'm like, why do they even allow this anymore?
So
And that was back in 1980 something.
RJ, here's what I'll say. Okay, and for me, I could leave it here, or there's still more we can talk about because I want to talk about the Skip Bayless thing.
Yeah.
But I think, yes, football should continue to try to make the game as safe as possible.
Absolutely.
However, what I think really needs to happen is they need to start speaking honestly about what the game is and the risks of the game. Instead of just saying, hey, we're making the game safe, it's not safe. It never will be safe, and maybe that's okay. My point is
It's a collision sport.
Yeah, my point
You can't. It's,
my point is speak honestly about it. Hey, 20 years, physically, it's going to be hard for you to do a lot after playing this game. You could, here are the risks, but because it's such a risky, crazy game, we're gonna make sure you're okay for the rest of your life. If you
I got news for you.
If you play this game
Behind closed doors, that is getting said.
that should.
It is getting said.
Oh, but you mean about football?
All of these players are warned of these risks. They don't care.
Okay, here's
because
my
you know
point.
why? And you know Marcus Spears nailed this. You're not a kid who has a chance to take care of his family, doing
Right,
what he
of
loves to
course.
do. It doesn't matter what the risks
Of course.
are.
But
they're not going to listen.
That's not
to
everybody
it.
in the NFL.
No, but that's most of them.
But my point
Andrew
is,
Luck was smart enough to walk away because what will start happening to him.
But I'm saying, not only do they have to be honest about the game, because of that truth of what the game is, now you have to make sure people are okay after they play the game. Forever. Because you have the money to do it.
$4,000 a month
You
is
don't
more.
You don't have to make sure
The
an
average-
NFL player
The
is
average retirement in this country is $1,400 a month. $1,400 a month and change.
Right.
For the
So-
whole year.
so what's your point?
$4,000 a month is still
In medical.
In medical,
That's not
And the thing
cash.
is, they're not even guaranteeing that. That was the agreement. 60% of these guys have been
That's
diagnosed.
if they pay out disability.
Yeah, and the thing is, this is what was agreed upon, and this is in the contract. And still, no one has seen a dime. And 60% of these guys, it's been diagnosed, it's been proven, the same as second, third opinions, and they haven't seen a dime of an agreed upon thing. That's ridiculous.
And then I heard
That's beyond ridiculous.
I heard Dominique Foxworth saying that healthcare is only guaranteed for 5 years after you're out of the league.
That's a joke.
That's a joke.
That's a joke.
Some of these guys,
That's an absolute
are
joke.
going to be disabled for years.
Some of these guys are going to be. My father, I remember. I think I told you this story. My father, when he talked me out of football, because he was sick, I was going to be. He said, "Look, you're going to have chances to play either one in college," and I'm not saying don't follow your dream, but look at me, boy. He was 40-something years, popping pills for arthritis, and he didn't even make it. He was there not even a year in the NFL, and he was popping pills for arthritis, and I'm not one pill, several. Okay, so I mean,
My dad used to talk about Earl Campbell.
Oh man,
And like what he looked like as an older man, and he was like, man,
Jim
he just
McMahon.
can barely walk.
Chicago Bears quarterback.
Oh, he had the
Where
concussions.
he doesn't remember why he walked into a room. That's freak. I mean, and still,
You got Junior Seau.
Junior Seau. The dude, half of the Pittsburgh
stuff,
Steelers back in the 70s, he's got, oh my God. So the thing is, there's a million stories.
So just take care of these
Just
guys
take care
after
of
they're
them.
gone from the league.
They put it on the line so you can
Right.
make your billions. You got to give them more of the pie.
Yes.
Because they're taking, to your point, they're taking all of the risk. First of all, you're not at risk, owners. America,
right.
Football is America's passion.
Right, you're not at
That's
risk.
never going away. You have no risk here.
Here's the biggest
There's
risk
no
to an owner.
losing here.
You know what the biggest risk to an owner is?
This team might lose the game.
No.
That's it that
It's
day.
the biggest risk to an owner is that he'll do something or something will come out that shows that, that shows a skeleton in the closet. And you know what the worst thing that happens? You have to sell your team for several billion dollars.
Yeah. You walk.
That's the biggest risk.
Your
Because you'll get
punishment,
pushed
yeah.
out and you'll have to
And you'll have a multi-billion-dollar payout.
You'll be liquid $4 billion. Give me a break.
No, it's true. So, anyway, we love to hear your thoughts on this. IDDST hashtag. You're looking for us. If you want to write something in the comment section below, please let us know what you think about this. Because again, it's time, and I applaud Dominique. And usually, I don't agree, but this one he nailed.
Most people said the right things. on
I
this.
think
Most
everybody
people
did.
pretty good.
But we're real quick. Skip Bayless. You had something you wanted to drop on that real quick about.
So this will probably be an unpopular opinion, but everybody is like destroying Skip Bayless, and I say everybody, it's just people on Twitter.
There's a lot
although
of people.
Shannon Sharp too was upset.
He didn't
at
agree
it.
with it. Yeah.
So
that was awkward this morning.
Anybody who
but-
hasn't seen it, I don't know how you haven't.
Yeah.
But Skip said, oh my gosh, this late in the season, the NFL must be thinking about replaying it. How could you cancel it? What would you do? And all of this seems so irrelevant. So he basically reversed the order.
At the end.
He reversed the order.
That's irrelevant.
He should
now.
have started with
irrelevance.
irrelevancy.
Yeah, but it was
according to
right there
people.
at the end, like he said. This is irrelevant.
Yeah. So
and he meant it. It was irrelevant. This dude is in real. This is the problem. This is the concern right now.
So
he did go there.
He did go there.
At the end.
But my only thing was people are saying he's sick, he should be fired, and I think Skip Bayless has done worse things in his career.
He's said worse things
than this.
Way worse.
And in my opinion, I think people were so upset with what they had seen, and they're basically being protective of Damar Hamlin, which I get. Like that makes sense.
I totally get that.
And at the same time, it's like, I mean, as you can't control what your brain thinks. You can't control what you say. So at that point, I understand people getting upset at Skip, but it's like when that happened to Damar, I had thoughts about the game and fantasy football and a bunch of other insignificant shit.
Nobody knew what it was.
Right. But
this
my
is the other
is,
thing. If someone told me he's dying on the field right now, I don't think anything else would have popped into my head.
No, I disagree.
But nobody...
I disagree. Dude, like, you're telling me, like, I could be at, like, a funeral of somebody I really love, and, like, random shit will come into my head.
I'm not saying it can't. I'm saying me personally, if I had known what was happening in that moment, my whole thing would have been like, oh God, please. I'd have been thinking one thing: please get a pulse, do something. My mind is not wandering in that moment. A man is dying in front of me.
I mean, I heard that they had given CPR, and
they
still had 1,000 thoughts in my head.
The defibrillator was on. They had to jumpstart his heart.
Right.
His heart
was down on the field.
Yeah,
yes,
his heart stopped, and I'm just like, holy.
Okay,
what?
But here's my thing.
Yeah.
Humans have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day.
I know that.
So when the man is down and they're saying they did CPR on him, like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The thought of like, I wonder how this is gonna affect the playoffs.
I'm not saying
they can't replay this game,
and I'm not saying
I didn't get on Twitter and go, I wonder how this will affect the NFL.
I'm not saying
people going, you're sick. It's like, nah, he's not sick. He might be, not have.
If
tact.
he left it at that, I'd have been like that dude. But
of
at
course.
the bottom, he's like, it's all
if
now
irrelevant.
irrelevant.
Just left
if he left that at that,
like, dude, you're fucking shit.
Yeah, I would have. But he said at the bottom, this is all irrelevant.
It's all irrelevant. It seems all irrelevant.
And it seems all irrelevant now.
Yeah,
so he did
say
that. But again, I understand people getting like, all right, hey, what? But at the end, he does say that.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who went on there going, look, this dude's an asshole, but let's be clear.
Right. But like,
yeah. So I mean,
but Shannon and Skip had a real awkward moment this morning.
Well, Skip didn't let him talk. Yeah. Don't be a Tom Izzo and cut the guy off in the middle of his monologue.
Oh, please.
A major asshole.
If I don't cut you off, I could be silent over here all night. You know that.
No, I'm going to usually ask you a question or give you the floor.
Yeah, but after 7 minutes of monologue?
No, it's like 2 or 3. In the beginning, it's like 2 or 3.
I can't wait that long.
It's not the average. So you're
That's why I interrupt.
It's not 7 minutes.
I need to be heard.
It's never been 7 minutes.
Maybe 4.5.
The average, I'd say, is less than 3.
There's been a 4.5.
There may have been 1. I'm saying
there was more than 1.
Well, you know what? We'll go back over this. We're going to do this. Anyway, we'll take a break. Segment 2, come back. We're going to talk more football, and he's going to get kudos. New York Giants in the playoffs, and they didn't back in.
Winning in, and they won.
And they won decisively. They kicked the door down.
Of a bad team.
I don't care.
I know. I'm just...
we'll take a break. Right back. We're going to address this. I got to talk. I got to bone to
I'm not talking it down.
We'll be back.
I'm just saying.
Soon.
Just speaking facts. Don't let those get in the way, RJ.
Don't stop it. Be back.